Hey, what's up guys? It's Austin here from Royal Highness Pythons, and in today's video, you can probably tell I'm at Mutation Creation. So it's just the end of my shift, and I thought I'd record this really cool video for you guys really quickly. Before we get into that, huge shout out to High Desert Pythons. That's Antoine Hood, and he's not slacking on the sleeve right there, and he's not slacking on the back either. So definitely go and check him out, High Desert Pythons, on Instagram and on YouTube. I would highly appreciate it, and I bet he would too. So let's get right into this video. So if you guys couldn't already tell by the title, this video is all about how to feed hatchling ball pythons, and even some ball pythons that are a little bigger than hatchlings, some juveniles. So basically, I'm gonna pull out a hatching ball python right here, and this one just came out of the egg. This is a banana pied, really nice pattern. There might be something else going on in this guy, but the key rule for feeding a hatchling ball python is you want to feed it something roughly the same size as the largest part of the girth on the snake. So the largest girth would be about halfway down the snake, and you can see it's about the size of a nickel or a quarter. And in that case, we would usually use a fuzzy rat, and this is a fuzzy rat. Basically, a fuzzy rat is a rat that already has some hair on it, and you can see that it's more or less the exact same size as the middle of the ball python. So fuzzy rat, when you're gonna feed it, you should really notice. Let me just put this rat away before I get bit. So now that we got the rat away, when you feed it the fuzzy rat, you should really notice a little bit of the rat inside the snake's belly after it eats. Right now, the snake hasn't had a meal yet because it just came out of the egg. But once it has its first meal, you want to see a little lump in the belly from the rat that it ate. And that's how you know that you're feeding your snake an appropriate size meal. But sometimes we have smaller snakes that come out of the egg. And for the smaller snakes, what you're going to want to do is get yourself a pinky rat. And a pinky rat is a rat that hasn't got any hair yet. It's a little bit bigger than when it first comes out of when it's first born. Pinky rats are a couple days old. They have not yet got their hair, but they're still bigger than the newborn rats. So they're about 3 to 5 days old, and their eyes are not open yet, like you can see. And this will also be a great meal for a smaller snake because the girth of the snake will be smaller, probably about the size of a dime. And as you can tell, that's about the width or the girth of this rat right here. So now let's get on to the bigger snakes. Right here, I have Billy's Super Enchi or Enchi Black Pastel, Super Asphalt Lavender, and this thing is just crazy. This has had a few meals so far, and basically, it's almost at that stage where it can move up. You can see that the girth of the belly is a little bit bigger than a quarter. I would still feed this guy the rat pups, maybe a little bit of a larger rat pup. Maybe you can go and ask your rat supplier for rat pups that are a little on the bigger side of the scale, because generally rat suppliers have a scale of what the rat sizes are, and they usually go by newborns, pinkies, pups, weans, smalls, mediums, large, and then there's some extra larges and even thunders, but those are definitely not for ball pythons. The biggest rat I would feed a ball python is a medium, because anything over a medium is going to be too big. Even if you have a 5,000 gram ball python, it's going to be too much fat for the ball python because they don't really get that much larger, the rats, but they get more fatter, and the more fat in your ball python, just the more poop is going to come out. So this is about the last size I would feed a rat pup. Or if you really want to get your snake a little bit bigger, you can even go and get yourself a small rat weaned. And this is a rat weaned on the smaller scale. It's almost the same size as the girth of this. You have to also keep in mind that there is some fur on this guy, and that if you were to actually go and take him and pinch him in the belly, not too hard obviously, that he would be about the same girth as the snake. So this snake could take this smaller rat weaned, but I would go and give it a larger rat pup right here we have an Enchi Ultramel, and if you guys are sleeping on Ultramel, you definitely got to go pick some up because Ultramels are going to be super hot in the future. This is just Enchi and Ultramel, and you can see all the really cool orange tones it brought in, and something I did not expect to see with just an Enchi and the Ultramel. Has really nice purples, and I can't wait to see what a super Enchi Ultramel looks like, or even Orange Dream or some other crazy genes added into this. But this snake is a little bigger than Toonie in Canada. In the States, it's a little bigger than, let's say, one of those really fat Gatorade bottle caps. So for this snake, we would go and feed right over here an average size weaned rat. And once again, you have to keep in mind that there is fur on this, so if we were to flatten all the fur, come back here. If we were to flatten all the fur, they'd be around the same size of the rat. And this guy actually, or this girl actually just ate a rat wean not too long ago, and if you look at the belly, you can see exactly what I was talking about, where if you feed your snake, you would like to see a little bit of a bulge in the belly. She's still able to move around. It wasn't too big of a meal, but this is about the biggest meal I would push for this animal. So if your ball python is above 150 grams, you're in that range where you're gonna want to feed it a larger rat pup or a smaller rat weaned, and then anything after 200 grams can take a rat weaned, and then so on and so on. I'm gonna make another video in the future with bigger rats and bigger snakes. These are the only rats I have available right now to do this video, so this is all I can show you guys. But really nice snake. Once again, do not sleep on Ultramel. Ultramel is gonna be big in the future. I can already see it. There's not too many genes that have been added to Ultramel yet, but with the genes that have been added, they're really popping and looking amazing. So once again, do not sleep on the Ultramel. So in addition to just feeding your ball python rats, there's other prey items you can feed as well. You have mice and African soft fur rats, or also known as Maltese or ASFs. In some places it's illegal to feed rats, Maltese, or mice, so you kind of have to move in between. And there's even some people who feed their snakes chicks. And I just want to show you guys what Maltese or African soft fur ASFs look like. Right here we have a large ASF. Let me just get this guy in my hand. This is a large ASF here. They look really cute. They don't smell as bad as rats, so if you do want to breed rats in the future, this could be a really good alternative to breeding rats. This is like crack to a ball python. They definitely do not like refusing meals from these guys. So if you do have a problem feeder ball python, an African soft fur rat or a Maltese or ASF, whatever you would like to call it, could definitely be a good idea to offer to your snake, especially if your snake has not eaten a rat in, let's say, 2 to 3 weeks, because you do not want it to be off track for that breeding season. And African soft fur rats get a little bit bigger than this, so the biggest you'll get them is around 120 grams. There are some bigger ones. This guy just pooped on me. Thank you for that. I'm just gonna leave that there. So basically, they get a little bit bigger than this, almost double the size, and you can get some that are a little bit bigger than that, retired breeders, but they usually cap off at around 150, 160 gram at the largest. And when they hatch out, they're about this, or when they are born, they're about the size of a mouse hopper. So they're very comparable to mice, except they get a little bit larger. And I'll just show you one more different ASF right now, one that's a little bit smaller. This is a subadult or a medium ASF, and they're just really cool and a great way to get your ball python to eat if it wasn't eating already. So do keep in mind that there's other prey items other than just rats. So you can feed chicks, ASFs, mice, and even gerbils are another great way to get your ball python to eat. So that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys liked it, and I hope too many of you weren't grossed out by the poop on my hand, because it kind of grossed me out. But that's really it for today's video, so stay tuned for the next one. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.